Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a moment, I'm going to walk my happy butt over to the futon to check out the Shudder original, The Dead Thing. The Dead Thing is directed by Elric Kane and is starring Catherine Hughes, Blue Hunt, and John Carna. This movie tells the story of a woman who's just kind of doing the old dating circuit. She's not looking to tie down, but she does want to have a good time. But along her journeys, she runs into Mr. Perfect. This guy checks every box. He's good looking, sensitive, charismatic, everything you could possibly want in a partner, except this guy has a dark secret, and this dark secret leads to her obsession with this man. This movie looks like it's going to be a very intense psychological thriller, and very kind of anti-Valentine's Day movie if you ask me. But you know what? It's enough of me sitting here jibber-jabbering on. My good old cat Haku is currently waiting for me patiently to check out The Dead Thing. Getting done watching The Dead Thing, and guys, I really enjoyed this movie, but I don't think it's going to be everybody's cup of tea. So let's get this started, shall we? We're going to get things started with negatives, then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. The first thing I want to talk about is the pacing of this movie. This film is the definition of a slow burn, the type of film that allows its story, its characters, its mystery to slowly develop and move throughout the film to a big explosive ending, and this film does definitely follow along that path. This movie is also an allegory metaphoric horror film. There is a lot more underneath the surface of this film if you allow yourself to fall into it. And it is very important to the movie to allow yourself to do that, or you're really not going to understand a lot of the events that are taking place. So if this just seems like something you don't want to deal with and all you want to watch is a big old schlockfest horror film, this is probably not going to be your cup of tea. But let's move into all of the things that I did enjoy about this movie. First off, let's just talk about this story. Now, this movie, go into it as blind as you possibly can, because there is a lot of things that go into the building of this movie, and the less you know, the better the mystery and everything is. So definitely just watch the trailer, know the description of this, that she meets this guy who seems great, and then things go south. That's all you need to know about this film, and you're going to really enjoy everything as it unfolds. Because unfortunately, I feel like this movie kind of suffers from something that is a one-time kind of viewing. While I did enjoy the film and I'm very happy that I watched it, unfortunately, this is the kind of movie that once its secrets are told and everything is divulged, you want to really have a whole lot of reasons to go back and watch this film unless you miss something later on down the road. But if you're someone who also really enjoys things from a technical aspect, the cinematography, the sound design, the overall feel of this movie is amazing. This film does such a great job of making you feel uncomfortable through the way the cinematography works, through the lighting, through the color palette. Everything has this absolutely droopy, downy feeling to it. And the look and vibe of this film kind of goes with the vibe, the mood of our main character, played by Blue Hunt. And that's another thing I want to bring up is the acting in this film, because our actors do an outstanding job, but I really feel like the standout performance came from Blue Hunt, who plays our lead character, because she has a lot of heavy lifting in this film. A lot of this movie depends on her performance, and she does an outstanding job delivering in this film. So if you're a fan of hers, you definitely need to check this movie out. The story itself is really cool, and like I keep trying to say, I'm trying to be as vague as possible because I don't want to give anything away, because I really could feel like it would ruin the experience for you knowing anything else than what I'm saying. All in all, guys, if you want to watch a really amazing horror film that really is dedicated to delivering a full-on experience that just makes you feel absolutely creeped out and an overwhelming feeling of dread throughout the entire film. This movie is an allegory horror film. There is an overlying story. There's a message that this film does try to deliver. It does does get a little overwhelming at some points where you might think it's trying to say something else, and then it tries to say something else. It unfortunately tries to take on a little too much with dating culture and relationships and toxic relationships, codependency and things like that. And unfortunately tries to kind of take on a little too much, but it doesn't do a terrible job of delivering its overall message on what it's trying to say about these topics. I honestly think, guys, that this is a really solid effort. This film is really good. I enjoyed the moments that I did see in this movie. This does come in at about an hour and 35 minutes. And yes, you will feel that because of the slow burn. So definitely sit down and prepare yourself for a movie that you really have to pay attention to and really have to zone in to enjoy. But if you allow yourself to be taken in by the beauty of this film, you will really get a lot out of this movie. I did bring up the sound design also. There was one scene in particular that I really enjoyed the way that they used the sound design to really drive the message on what you were seeing on the screen. All in all, guys, this film is on Shudder. If you are a person who really enjoys a slow burn, mystery styled horror thriller film, well, I would say this movie really does fall more into the psychological thriller. The more horror this movie had, there is a couple of jump scares, but overall the dread that you feel is pretty much all of the horror that this movie has. So I would say that this movie does fall very safely in the psychological horror area. If you are someone who is also sitting at home on Valentine's Day this year and you might be recovering from a pretty bad relationship, maybe wait to watch this movie. Give yourself some time to heal before you sit down and watch The Dead Thing. Otherwise, check this movie out as soon as you can. And you know what? To be perfectly honest, if you're into seeing a just very well-made, very creepy horror film and you are not a subscriber to Shudder, give the free week a shot, check out this movie, see if the streaming service is for you. Thanks again, guys, for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.